Hey, welcome back to the Sawdust Factory. In our last episode, we turned what we thought was a burl, this guy here, out of a hard maple kind of knot that was on the side of a tree. Got a little bit of cracking on this piece I'm going to glue up today, but we're going to move on to the second burl that I had, which is this guy right here. Now I did cut some initial bowl blanks out of that burl, which I have right here. But unfortunately, after coming back to the shop, I'm seeing that this piece here is already separating through this big seam and right through here. So I don't think that's going to be turnable, at least in this whole section. We might be able to turn something smaller out of this area later on. I'm going to let it dry out a little bit longer, just see what happens. I've got the same problem on this bowl blank, which I cut. You can see this seam right here, which just by pulling on it, I can open up. So we're going to focus on the second half and see what we can salvage out of this side of the burl. There's quite a bit of ant decay in here and a lot of carpenter ants kind of lingering around the shop still from when I originally cut it open. This is the side we're going to be working off of, so we're going to split this again in half. And you can see it's about 6-7 inches thick right there. There's an ant right there. And comes down to here. So this is kind of the bottom of the piece, if you will, and this will be the top. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off with the chainsaw real quick, mount a faceplate on this side, try and figure out where about the center is. We'll get it mounted up on the lathe and we'll start turning. Stick around. Well, we're going to have to use a faceplate. The wood is just too soft for a worm screw. Okay, so that's a kind of a nice shape right there. Definitely going to be a challenge to turn the inside of this out. I got a couple spots where the bark is sitting up, like right there and right here, where it's really soft wood. But otherwise the wood is relatively stable through here. There's a crack developing right there. I'm going to have to trim that out. And the tool marks aren't so bad. I'm going to go ahead and sand this guy down from 80 grit to about 225. I'm going to do that off camera just because I'm not going to do it after I hollow it out. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll rotate it around and chuck it up with my small chuck here and try hollowing it out. All right, I'll be back. Alright, just got done hollowing it out. It is really rough. I'm going to try and clean up some of the fuzzies. I did wet sand it before, mainly because the wood was wet, and if you dry sand wet wood, you just tend to clog up a lot of sandpaper. So I'm going to clean off some of the fuzz here with some, starting at 120, and then we'll put a oil finish on it. That'll allow it to dry out real slow, keep it from cracking, and it should bring out the color. So for the finish on this, we're going to use some tried and true. This is a linseed oil and beeswax mixture. I like this. It smells kind of funny, but it works really good on woods that haven't dried out all the way. I find helps kind of stabilize them. I think it's probably not supposed to be used that way, but I use it from time to time like that. I used to use this finish on all my bowls, but it takes a little bit longer to dry than the Howard's orange oil and beeswax, so I tend to use that a little bit more. That smells a lot better. This has a very linseed oil smell to it, and some people don't like that smell. If you're not into smelling linseed oil, I can't blame you. It's not my favorite smell either. So we're going to put a pretty liberal coating of this on. And it does tend to darken the wood, which I think is okay for this maple. I think it'll look good, a little bit darker. Okay, here's the finished piece. I think it turned out pretty good for being something that I turned pretty quick. Just 2 hours here at the shop tonight from start to finish. And it's amazing that something pretty nice can come out of a piece of wood that probably wouldn't even be firewood. It probably just would have sat and rotted out, given all the ants and stuff that were in it. So there's still some ants floating around the shop. We'll see if they make it to the spring. I did finish the bottom off. I need to sign and date it still. I put some CA on the bottom. I was a little bit afraid of this spot right here, developing a crack in it, so it's got some CA on there. Okay, so that's the project here at the Sawdust Factory tonight. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Check out my channel for other wood turning videos. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.